Hey, this is Sarah.
And this is Rachel.
And this is the Rippah Diaries, a podcast where we go episode by episode ripping apart the Vampire Diaries. Warning, this is a rewatch podcast, so there are potential spoilers for the whole series ahead.
Today we're talking about Season 1, Episode 3, Friday Night Bites. In this episode, Stefan joins the football team. Bonnie still has her psychic abilities / pre-witch abilities. She also tries to convince Elena that Stefan isn't who she thinks he is. Elena thinks about joining the cheerleading team, does, then quits. And then Damon and Caroline still have their, air quotes, relationship. And yeah, Jeremy and Vicky and Tyler still have a ton of drama, of course. So that's this episode.
It's a great episode.
A 10 out of 10. An absolute 10 out of 10.
Like, one of the top 10 best episodes of Vampire Diaries, potentially. It's so good.
It's so good.
I love it. I am so happy we get to finally watch this one and talk about this one. If you watched the first couple episodes of the podcast, we mentioned that this was the episode we were waiting to get to. This is when Vampire Diaries becomes what it needs to be.
Yes, absolutely. This is where you get away. Like, there's still a little bit of the teen stuff, but you're getting away from that. It's more like, okay, this is a show about supernatural things. It's getting dark.
Mm-hmm.
This real things are going to happen.
Definitely. So let's start with the teen stuff then.
We can start with the teen stuff, get that out of the way.
I would say the real teen stuff is Vicky and Jeremy and Tyler and Matt in relation to them.
Yes.
Vicky and Jeremy are sort of in this weird... Mm-hmm. Jeremy's like, what do you want from me? Like, why are we together? Yeah. Which I actually think is a good question. Like, what does Vicky want from Jeremy? Is it the drugs? Is it the sex? Is it the attention? Is it...
Yeah, probably all of the above.
Yeah, a little bit of all.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just so weird to be seeking it from, like, a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
So bad.
Iffy. I mean, it's definitely, she's just a person who's not in a good, healthy headspace or family or situation. And Jeremy's, like, really willing to give her that, like, devoted love and stability and everything that she needs.
Yeah, whereas Tyler's an asshole to her all the time. Worst. He's so bad.
Which also, I feel like that's such a weird storyline in retrospect. I was thinking about it this time watching it, that it's like, it's so weird that Tyler and Jeremy's whole plotline in the first season, at least in regards to each other, is just fighting over Vicky.
And they're fighting over Vicky,
It's so weird when you think about, like, season 5, 6...
when they're teaming up together and doing all these things. Yeah, it's a really weird choice.
Yeah, it makes sense now, like, in the context, but, like, thinking about it as, like, that's, like, a place that their story started, it's like, okay.
Yeah, weird, okay.
Sure, I guess.
Glad they moved past it.
Yeah, which Jeremy is fully vindicated in fighting Tyler over this. Like, he
100%,
well-deserved.
Yeah, Tyler is so awful. Jeremy, every time he tells Tyler off, I'm like, good for you. Yeah, he's just the worst.
He's the worst. And the one thing I will say that Jeremy was kind of wrong for was, so they start this... He's not perfect. He's still a 14-year-old boy. So they start this fist fight at the pep rally.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
So I don't even remember what happens, how Tyler gets Jeremy's attention or whatever. But Tyler comes over, they start fighting, everyone starts watching. Mm-hmm. Jeremy breaks a glass bottle and goes to cut Tyler with it. Like, that's not just normal, like, we're bros, we're fist fighting over a girl. That's like... assault.
I'm going to kill you. Yeah, no. I thought that too. I was like, that... Also, it happens after... We're jumping ahead, but that happens after Stefan pulls them apart. Like, the fight is pretty much over, but Jeremy still goes to take the bottle and, like, slice Tyler?
Yeah.
Like,
well, I wish I had watched a little bit closer, because I didn't catch where Jeremy exactly aimed at Tyler, because he was lucky that... I guess he didn't. I think he just turned around and just whipped it, and, like, Stefan happened to be right there. But...
Still,
it could have been Tyler's neck. It could have been his face. It could have been any part of his body and done serious damage.
Yeah. Way worse than just getting hit. I mean, neither are great, but... Yeah.
Both bad. I don't know why he did that.
No, I thought that too. I had the same thought. I was like, why? It
was so shocking. But, we do get that good moment, and this is probably why they ultimately were like, well, we'll make Jeremy a little crazy. It cuts Stefan's palm instead of cutting Tyler. Yeah. And Stefan heals instantly, because he's a vampire, if you haven't figured that out already. Yes. And he heals instantly. Mm-hmm. Great moment to kind of, like, reveal what the vampire powers are, because I don't actually think in the first couple episodes we really got to see, like, I don't think we see at all them healing or really what being a vampire entails.
Not healing from like a wound like that. We see like Stefan and Damon have the whole thing where he like throws them out of the Salvatore
That's
house.
true.
But...
Like they're clearly durable.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the word for it.
Yeah.
They're durable.
They're durable. Yeah. But now we see they both heal and are durable.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if it's something as simple as like a cut from glass, they will heal within a second.
Yeah.
I really like that reveal. And then of course that's
works.
a reveal to Elena that something's going on here. What is that? Because Elena did see it happen, and like she's really starting to doubt herself. Which, girl, how did she not doubt herself at the top of this episode when they're standing there talking, and Stefan whips around and catches a football in 2 seconds?
Catches a football literally directly behind his head.
She should have had doubt in that second. I would have been like, that was not human.
Yeah, that was unreal. Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess she just gives him the benefit of the doubt. It's literally a Spider-Man moment. I think Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man does like the exact same thing. Catches a football instantly. Stefan's Spider-Man moment.
Related to that though, that moment in the beginning of the episode when Tyler and Matt are talking and Tyler's like, Matt, you gotta show him or like show her what she's missing or whatever, and he goes to throw a football at the back of her head. What?
Yeah.
Show her what she's missing. Yeah, let's potentially cause this person to have like a concussion or a serious injury, like a TBI. Let's do that, and that'll show her.
That's really gonna show her what she's missing.
A bully,
literally a bully, which he gets called out for this episode.
Yeah. For the best.
But then it's also funny too that like the decisions being made are just clearly all teenage boy decisions.
Yes.
Because even Stefan, who's 162 years old, still a teenage boy at heart, because his decision is to whip around and catch the ball. Like he could have let himself just get hit, just taken the hit and been like, it's not actually going to give me a serious concussion, whatever. And also, again, what is Tyler really going to prove by doing this?
Nothing.
So he could have taken the hit, but obviously that would hit his pride, so he didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
He could have, which I always wondered why he didn't do this, just kind of step aside. Like, he knew it was coming, obviously. He could have. I think Elena was maybe too much in the thing.
I was going to say, I think he'd be afraid it would hit Elena.
That was my only reason of thinking that wasn't a possibility. Because that's what I would try to do, is be like, I'm just going to step to the side so it just hits the ground and then, like, whatever.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Then it's like, I don't have that sort of, like, too obvious attention-seeking something supernatural moment. And then I also don't have, like, to get hit in the head with a football and live with that. So I just thought that was funny that he decided to do that.
It's an interesting choice, too, because, I mean, if we're going to talk about a little bit of, like, the Stefan, Tyler, Matt dynamic, getting into the football, and Stefan joins the football team at Elena's urging. And, of course, Tyler and Matt would rather be losers and have a terrible team than have, like, one new person be good. It's not them.
They're like devastated that Stefan gets to start first string because he's a new guy.
And which also he's a junior, like chill.
Yeah.
But so they haze him basically, and they're being so terrible. And there is that moment where Stefan hears Tyler say to Matt, like, we're gonna set Stefan up for this buddy play or something like that. And Stefan does choose to just take it.
Yes.
And it's just like, okay, I'm gonna let them do this.
Yeah, which was so smart on his part that like he couldn't just come in there and be all vamp skill, running, catching, doing all the things.
It was a good choice. Yeah,
he had to like make himself get like caught a little bit,
especially a very visible one.
And like if only just for like Matt's pride and whatever Tyler's pride and just fitting in a little bit better.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to let yourself be hazed a little bit.
Yeah, unfortunately. Just to bring you down to earth. And especially when you are a vampire going out for the high school football team. You need to not have such like supernatural skills.
Yeah, you can't be the best person on the team by a very wide margin.
Yeah, especially when you're like as scrawny as he is, because like when he gets hit to the ground by Tyler, he's like laying on the field. He's like a piece of cardboard. He's teeny tiny. You're like, that scrawny little kid is like this amazing football player. Granted, I know nothing about football, so maybe whatever position he's playing, his size would benefit him or whatever. But it's like, I don't know. I don't believe it.
I think, just really relies on the vampire aspect.
Yes, totally. Which, again, relying on the vampire aspect. In that moment, he gets his finger broken.
Oh, yeah,
which,
yeah.
Again, another really smart way to
That
show
was a good one.
how they heal, what sort of, like, being a vampire
applies to broken bones.
Yeah, literally, it applies to broken bones. Not just a cut on your hand being able to heal really quickly. He literally just, like, I wanted to make the sound of, like, I was going to try to do, like, a little... Yeah, but I was like, I can't do it.
I can't do it that way.
But I've already tried it, so whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just snaps his little bone back in place and he's good to go.
Deal.
If he was in actual high school, his season would have been over.
His season would end, yeah.
Which he should have just done that so that Tyler could get harassed by everyone in the school.
Yeah, people would be pissed
if Tyler we had this new kid come in, was going to be the best player, actually make us a winning team, and you broke his finger.
Just because you're the worst.
Because you couldn't take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyler, not a great Tyler episode, but
Tyler's terrible, and we've talked about this before, but Tyler is terrible until, like, a little bit of season 3. He has some good moments.
Yeah, he has a small window.
Yeah, he has, like, a 5-episode arc where he's good.
Although, we could say he has a 5-second arc in this episode where he's great, because I sent you this TikTok the other day, and I'm hoping all of you have seen it, and if you haven't, we'll repost it or something on our TikTok because it's so funny of Tyler just leaning. Like, he stands as if he's leaning on a wall in, like, every single scene. He's also dressed ridiculously.
Huge shirt. I mean, ridiculously, but also very fitting for 2009.
Very fitting for Teenage Boy 2009. Yes. Yeah, perfect. And so the girl that did the TikTok, she just recreated the way he stood and the outfits he was wearing, and it's so funny.
It's really good.
I also have to say, this is one of Stefan's hottest episodes.
Okay.
Is that not just me?
It's not just you. It's really not just you. I actually had the same thought, and I actually was thinking there's a little exchange when Elena's like, I want to quit cheerleading, and Stefan's like, yeah, okay. And Elena says, we're a perfect pair. I quit, you start. I was like, okay, I kind of like Stelena in these first few episodes. I'm like, it just works.
This is the most rare episode, and that is, like, perfect Stelena episode, perfect Elena episode.
Yeah.
You get, like, perfect chemistry from both.
All of them.
And it works really well.
It does. It works best when they all have chemistry, or when both relationships have chemistry.
Totally. And the problem with Stelena is, like, a lot of the time they end up in really dramatic situations where, like, nobody's happy. And this is probably one of, if not the only times we get, like, a happy episode of them just getting to, like, be together. Because that scene when she quits, he starts, and she giggles.
Yes!
It's the perfect, like, Nina
it's really
Dobrev
adorable.
Giggle. It's so cute. But he also just looks really good. Like, something about, like, when he was coming off the football field and he pulled off his helmet and his hair was all, like, messed up, and he had some, like, dirt on his face. I was like,
okay,
Stefan is hot.
Yeah, Stefan is kind of hot.
Like, it doesn't come up a lot. We have joked ourselves that, like, when Stefan has his humanity off, that's when he's his hottest.
Yes.
Which is a guarantee that is when he's his hottest. But this is, like, the one time that, like, humanity Stefan, just trying to be a normal human boy, is also attractive.
Yeah.
He really works somehow.
I actually had the thought this episode, I was like, they should have made Stefan less hot. Like, he was really hot in this episode. Good news, it goes downhill a little bit. The first time you see him cry, it's like, okay, never mind.
Yeah,
I have the absolute ick. But
yeah, the crybaby boy Stefan doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
But the Stefan that's answering trivia and historical facts does way too much. I'm like,
Stefan that knows when Roe v. Wade was. Okay.
Yeah, that's a great Stefan. Yeah. I love the scene of, like,
Me
the quiz. I was so particularly obsessed with that scene in high school. I was obsessed with this episode in general. It's like, I've seen this episode countless times.
Yeah.
But I remember watching that scene so many times that, like, in high school, I actually knew all of those dates from watching
only for that
scene.
reason. Yeah.
I think I only got into AP US history because I watched that scene so many times.
You were able to just say these years.
Literally. Like, that, it really, like, embedded into my brain.
Yep.
It's so good.
It's a really great scene. Also, so realistic. I feel like so many of our teachers were also, like, weirdly combative with students. Yeah. It's like, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, they're just trying to test you, not in the, like, academic way.
Yeah, they just want you to be uncomfortable and, like, feel like you don't know anything. Loved high school.
Yeah. And then I love that Stefan's, like, reason for it is, like, I do crosswords.
Yeah. I also, as a crossword doer myself, I was like, I love him. I really love him. He's standing up for Elena in that scene, too, which I also like.
I love his dynamic with Elena in this episode.
It's really good.
How it's, like, this really cute, like, we're both going to embrace high school. We're both going to
We're both doing
try.
this.
Yeah, I love how they start the episode saying, like, you go out for the football team, I'll go out for the cheerleading team. Like,
yeah,
we're gonna try to be this cute little, like, quarterback and, like, head cheerleader pairing. And, of course, it doesn't work out, really, but, like...
They tried.
There's something really, like, quaint about them both, like, doing
that.
that.
Quaint is, like, the perfect word for it. Yeah.
That's, like, I think Stelena's whole vibe and goal...
It
is to be this very human, very, like, their dream scenario would be, like, Stefan's a human at the high school, just like is in this episode. Yeah. And they just got to be, like, the head cheerleader and the head quarterback. And
high school sweethearts.
Yes. They go off somewhere for college together, and then they come back, and they get married, and they live in the same town. And, like, they just have the most, like, quaint hometown, small town vibe. And, like... It is a cute dream.
It's a good dream, but little do they know. This is really when it all starts to get darker. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do like, I guess it has also gotten darker on that note already. Not even before the show started, because one of my favorite quotes in this episode is when Elena says, hey, come on, there's more to me than just gloomy graveyard girl.
I love that
quote.
It's really good.
Elena doesn't get a lot of, like, really memorable quotes. Like, when I think of Elena quotes, that's honestly probably one of, like, a few that come to mind. Yeah. But I really like that one. I think it is, like, cute that she, like, you know. Yeah. In the first episode, she was gloomy graveyard girl.
She really was.
So it's nice to see her as the cheerleader.
Also, again, this is spoilers, but just thinking forward to when she basically, like, justifies why she likes Stefan at some point, and she's like, I met him at, like, a really important time, and he really changed my life. I feel like on a rewatch, you really see that.
Totally.
You're like, it's true. Like, it's really true. He does change her life for the better.
And that is what she says to Bonnie in this episode, is, like, when Bonnie's saying, you know, I got a bad vibe from him, I'm not sure about him. Yeah. And she says, like, I'm happy. I'm finally starting to feel like things are getting back to normal. Yes. I'm finally feeling, you know, like a high school student.
Yeah, not like a regular, not gloomy, not graveyard girl. Yeah, exactly.
So it's really interesting that we actually get to see it, and I appreciate it more on, like, a rewatch.
Yes, definitely.
I also appreciate Elena's ponytail.
I love every time she wears a ponytail. It's like, it just looks so good. Like, I hate her a little bit for it. It's so not really, because I love her.
I mean, her hair always looks good. Yes, but it looks particularly good in a ponytail, and I think it's because you get it, like, once a season. You get an Elena ponytail once, maybe twice a season. Yeah. If that.
And every time it's perfect. It's like,
every time.
She kills it. Her hair, like, Nina Dobrev is everything.
It's literally, I think the ponytail works on her so much because her face is so pretty.
Beautiful. Yeah. She's, like, stunning. Yeah.
I literally am so distracted in these early episodes, especially by, like, how pretty she is.
So naturally beautiful.
Yeah, the ponytail accentuates that. It's like,
it really does.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah. I also just love when she's just in, like, the tank top and shorts and, like, with the ponytail. I'm like, flawless. Even in these such casual moments. She's just perfect.
I do prefer the, like, long pants with the Converse and the long hair and the fall vibes.
I do too, but
But she has a great summer energy too.
She does. Yeah.
She definitely does.
She looks great.
Yeah. And also on the cheerleading team, Bonnie.
Oh, Bonbon. I love her. We mentioned this in the first episode, but I'm just so happy that Bonnie has a few more of these light moments. Like, when Elena shows up to practice after her, like, Bonnie not being sure she was even going to be on the team again, and she, like, screams. She's like, like, Elena! It's like, I love you, Bonnie.
It's the perfect high school teen girl reaction to your best friend, like, joining the club or whatever that you're in. Like, exactly. It's such a true way to react, and it's really cute.
It's so good. It really nails down, like, how good of friends Bonnie and Elena are, and, like, why they basically go through this whole series together, and like, why they're always trying to save the other person's life. Like, it just,
they are true best
friends.
They really
are.
lose sight of it, I think, at some points in the series, because there's just so much going on.
Yes.
Which, unfortunately, this is that episode for Bonnie.
It is.
This is, like, that last kind of good day, I suppose.
It really is.
It launches her into so much drama. Like, the whole point of this episode for Bonnie is, like, really hammering in. She's a witch. Yeah. She is a witch, and, like, she can tell what's gonna happen. Yep. She can sense all of the bad.
Yes. And she, not only that she's a witch, but, and she says in this episode, I don't want to be a witch. I think this really nails down, like, which can't relate at all.
Can't relate.
But she really nails down, like, it's gonna come with some bad. Like, it's gonna
Yes.
come with a lot of bad. Like,
Yes.
it's not always gonna be, like, woohoo, I'm hanging out, I'm, like, doing spells, like, love spells with my friend. Like, no. You're gonna predict and know about your teacher's death. Like, it's gonna be it's gonna be dark.
And I kind of think that that's why Bonnie says that she doesn't want to be a witch. Because, one, I thought that was ridiculous. I was like, I do want to be a witch.
Yeah.
What are they talking about?
Can't relate.
Which, Elena, makes sense. Again, Elena's dream is to be local teen girl, popular, go to, like, the same local school and, like, whatever.
Yes.
That's Elena's dream. So I understand why she doesn't want to be a witch. Bonnie, I don't know. Bonnie could want to be a witch. But I think Bonnie does understand, even now, that it is, like, this... It would mean getting into something darker and bigger than she probably really wants to.
Yes.
Because, of course, she does reveal that when she touched Stefan in the last episode, she ran away and she wigged out, as Caroline called it.
Oh, God.
She sensed death. She felt what she imagined death would feel like.
Yeah.
And even myself, having been a self-proclaimed want to be a witch for decades at this point, if I really touched somebody's hand and was like, that feeling that I just felt when I touched their hand was literally death. Probably make me change my mind pretty quick. I'd be like,
I think so too.
That's probably a
even the witching of us all.
Yeah. Although I don't know, finding the birthday candles in the kitchen, that'd be
That's fun.
That's a good party trick.
That's fun.
I've never been in this kitchen before, but let me tell you what's in this drawer.
Yeah.
That's a good one to just pull out at a party.
That would be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some lighthearted moments, but a lot of dark. Really outweighed by the dark.
Yeah. But I do like the lighthearted magic we get in this one of Bonnie just being like, I predicted that commercial would come on.
Yeah.
And she opens the drawer with the candles, and she opens the drawer with the salad tongs or whatever. Elena doesn't even know where it is in her own kitchen, but Bonnie knows.
Yeah.
It's a very fun and playful way. Kind of like how we were saying with Stefan, with, like, the showing that he can heal. Like, this is an episode that in a lot of ways is just really good for education purposes of, like, how do things in the world operate.
Yeah.
And the magic is a good one. Although they don't really stick to Bonnie's magic acting that same way or functioning in that same way. You do still get, like, sort of a setup for it, I guess.
Yeah. And I like the way it just, like, slowly builds, because even when she finds the salad servers and the candles, it's like, okay, like, there's still a little bit of doubt, and it's still, like, a fun thing. It could be like, oh, you know, like, I'm a witch. Like, it could be kind of fun. But then it builds, and it's like, okay, we're seeing that it is real, and it's not like it came out of nowhere. Like, it really, like you said, it, like, builds the world. It builds how the magic in the world works really well.
Totally. And then, and going along with that darkness that we get to.
Yeah.
Damon Salvatore. You know, in
everything.
Everything.
Don't even, I was, like, feral watching this episode.
It's such a good Damon episode.
So good.
I mean, that's the thing. In the first two, you know, he's in them, but, like, we don't get, like, a ton of, like, proper Damon necessarily, but this is, like, a proper, like, Damon episode.
Yes.
And it's great, but it's also, as a Damon apologist, pretty bad. It's a hard one to apologize for.
It's not good. It doesn't start off good. It doesn't really end good.
Yeah.
But it's perfect.
Caroline.
Oh,
poor Caroline.
I know.
That opening scene is brutal.
It is really, it's tough.
But also, did you have little lingerie nightie sets like that at 17?
No.
Me either.
No.
I was like, why does she own this?
Literally, no. I would sleep in, like, gym shorts and a t-shirt. Like, I still do. Like, I do not. Yeah, she has, like, the full set. It's like...
Yeah. In this morning scene, Damon is so hot.
Oh my god, I know.
He looks so good. He's a bad man doing bad things. But
He's terrible. He's so bad. But oh my god, I love him.
Why that sounds so sexual when you said he's so bad?
Everything about him is sexual that it's like rubbing off on me. I'm like,
it's true.
Oh my god, like, absolutely feral.
When she's fighting for her life, unfortunately.
I know.
But when she hits him with the lamp and his head just like whips to the side and like the face he gives, melted. It kills me.
Everything. He's everything.
It's so good.
It's
so good. And then of course, the like probably highlight of this episode for me is like the little dinner party that Damon ambushes with Caroline.
Yes, love that. Stefan is finally winning over Bonnie. It's just Stefan, Elena, Bonnie, which is a pretty good trio, especially in these early days. Yeah, and then Damon shows up with Caroline, gets himself invited in.
Sneaky boy.
Sneaky, clever.
Which I
So
will say,
good.
I was enjoying that scene too with just Elena, Bonnie,
Me
and
too,
Stefan in
yeah.
it. That's like a pairing that doesn't, I think, ever happen again. Like, not notably.
Really. Yeah, no.
But the dialogue there is really good.
Yeah.
I think the dialogue in this episode in general is much improved over the first two. They're like finding people's voices, and the repertoire between those three especially is just really like well paced. It's interesting, talking about the like Salem witches, and it's such an interesting scene. It's why this episode is so like rewatchable.
Yeah. Also, it's, I think, like, very realistic from a, I want you to meet my boyfriend. Like, you're my best friend. I want you to meet my boyfriend. Like, I want you to like him. You don't like him now. Like, you've met him. You don't like him.
Yeah.
But I want you to get to like him. I feel like it just really works. Like, you see Stefan putting in the work. You see Bonnie warming up. You see Elena be like, yeah, he has a good choice.
Yeah.
It's just, it works.
It's such a good, it's again, kind of the high school stuff we've been talking about.
Yes.
But there is this sort of like elevated air to it. And it's just, it works. It's such a good scene.
It really is.
And then, of course, it only gets better.
It only gets infinitely better.
Because I do love that Damon schemes his way in. His purpose of coming was definitely so that he could get invited in.
Of course, yeah.
And it's just so funny because then Stefan gets so mad.
Yeah.
Like, he's just standing there like Elena's like, it's fine. Like, just come in.
Come on in, yeah.
And Stefan gives her this face like, why would you do that?
Don't
She's
do it.
Like, like, I'm not going to be rude. He's like on my doorstep.
With my
like,
best
a pie
friend.
or
My
whatever.
other best friend. Yeah.
And my best friend.
Well,
but
she's not a best friend in this episode.
She's the worst in this episode. But it's just it's so funny. We've talked about this personally for random episodes that like this comes up all the time, and I think it's sort of a nature of any sort of supernatural show with secrets where characters just like get mad at each other for putting themselves in danger, but you're hiding the secret from them. Like, how are they supposed to know?
They can't know any better.
They can't know. Stefan like looks at Elena all mad that she invited Damon in, but like, how did she know
has
that
no
that's
way of
like
knowing that
a
she
serious consequence?
Yeah.
Like, she thought she was just inviting him in to be polite, but instead it turned into like a whole, he can now get into your house at any hour and, you know, whatever. So.
Big payoff for that invitation in the end. But we'll get to that.
Payoff. Yeah, we'll get to that. There's still a lot to talk about with this dinner party. Yeah. Caroline is a big one.
When she says Elena's going through a blah phase.
Because her parents died.
It says her parents died.
That? Like, who says that?
She's really... Caroline...
She's on
She's got a long way to go. Yeah, she's on one. Which, to be fair, she is being abused. But
I mean, true, but...
she's really on one. And she's... got a long way to go before she gets to, like, the Caroline we know and love.
Yeah, she does. My headcanon in this episode is that Bonnie has to join Damon and Elena in the kitchen because she just didn't want to be in that room with Caroline any longer. It's so funny. So backtracking on that, Damon and Elena are in the kitchen cleaning up after the little dinner. And so we get the real first, I feel, proper Damon and Elena scene. Yeah. We get one in episode 2 where they first meet each other, but Stefan shows up, like, a minute or two into that interaction.
Yeah, it's a first interaction in that episode.
So it's basically like a who are you?
Yeah.
But this is a proper interaction.
This conversation between the two of them, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is like one of my favorite conversations between them, and I think my favorite moment of all of season 1. It's
really?
So again, I think this comes with rewatching. I was thinking about it a lot when we were watching, and in the conversation, basically, Damon tells Elena, it's okay to quit cheerleading if it doesn't make you happy. And it's okay to have changed since her parents died. Yeah. He's the only one, I guess, other than Stefan. And Bonnie's really not being bad. But it's a good contrast with Caroline being such a bitch about it.
It's a blah phase, Elena.
It's such a good contrast. And it just shows, like, how much he knows her. And, like, I don't know, just
without knowing her. He understands her.
He understands her in a way no one else would. And on the other side of that conversation, when Elena apologizes to Damon for his loss, like he says he's sorry about the loss of Catherine because he lost her too, she just understands him. She just gets him. Yeah, it's perfect. Like, you don't know on the first watch how perfect that conversation is, but I think that's something that's had some of the highest rewatch value for me is just seeing, like, they don't know it, but they're actually perfect for each other.
Yeah, I totally agree. I thought that this time, more so than any other time, that the rewatch value of that scene is so high in so seeing good. Really how much they just click. They just get it. Because I do think I acknowledged in the first watch that Damon was taken aback by Elena saying that you lost her too, and I'm sorry for that. But you feel it even more on a rewatch, where it's he really hasn't had anyone acknowledge that for him. I mean, Stefan is making light of it the whole episode. He's like, you hate me because you loved her, and you're mad at me because you still do, or what, whatever he says. Like, he's being angry about the whole situation, about Damon's acting, and he's not sympathetic towards him at all. Which is sort of justified in the whole 140 years of war thing. Yeah. But still, Elena is very sympathetic towards Damon and very understanding. And actually, she picks up on the Catherine stuff without him even telling her. Yeah. He's not hiding it necessarily. He describes her as being sexy and beautiful. Yeah, so it's not like it's not a reach. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But, yeah, she picks up on the that vibe. Yeah. And then I love that, like, it does start out as Damon is just trying to plant the seeds of doubt. He's just messing with her. He's messing with Stefan. He does specifically play it in front of all of them. He brings up Catherine. Yep. Just to, like, and then Stefan's like, let's not go there. And he's like, oh, you don't want me to talk about her or whatever. Stefan just scoffs, like, oh my God. Like, if Damon's going to bring something up, he's going to bring it up. Yeah, of course. It's so good. So then Elena brings it up later in the kitchen. And it is part of just that, manipulation tactic of Damon's just trying to get in Elena's head. He's trying to mess with Stefan. But then it does become... oh, yeah, like, let me really support you in giving you advice about this, like, cheerleading situation and, whatever, whatever else. It's perfect. Also, I love that it starts with the glass drop. She, like, he hands her a glass or something, and she drops it, and he catches it, and she just giggles, and it's so smooth and airy. It's kind of like the earlier thing we were saying about Stefan and Elena, where they're just joking around. She just has this really happy, playful energy in this episode that, like, you don't see much more of. Yeah, you don't see much more of. We're going to lose it pretty quickly, and it's not going to come back. Yeah. I know, I thought that too. She, like, gives him a smile after he catches the glass and starts to help her with the dishes. Yeah. It's so perfect. Sweet. It's perfect. It's so sweet. And then, of course, on the other side of the room, we've got Caroline and Stefan sitting out there. Bonnie's there for a minute, and she ditches because Caroline's the worst. Yep. And, Caroline's sitting out there with Stefan, and he's trying to figure out, like, what's Damon doing to her. He doesn't know, but he suspects. And he asks her about the scarf, which is so funny that Damon always does that to women. He's like, always just wear a scarf. Just wear the scarf over there. But I just can't believe that nobody questioned Caroline on that. Like, why has Caroline suddenly become the Blair Waldorf of scarves? Yeah. What Blair Waldorf is to headbands, Caroline now is to scarves. She's wearing it with her cheerleading uniform. Like, yes, that killed me. What? Like, no one wants to say anything about this? Yeah, no one questioned it. They were like, that's just Caroline. She's just decided to wear scarves with every outfit now. It could be. In September in Virginia? Like, it's not necessary. I don't know. It is like the skinny Hannah Montana scarf, though. So it's like, it's not... Yeah, at this dinner a little bit more fashion. She had like a purpley velvety one with the cheerleading outfit, though. Yeah. I don't know. It's just a weird move. It's weird. It's clearly she did not decide it. Damon decided it. Of course. Amongst many other things, one of my favorite Caroline episodes, Does It Look Like I Do the Dishes? She was real for that. She really was so real for that. Yeah. And she also was just in full season 1 Caroline form. She was really on one. She really was. She was being wild. She really was. But it's honestly not even that wild in comparison to Damon a lot of this episode, I feel. No, yeah, he was also on one. He was also on one. He is really... I don't know. He goes from having that, like, perfectly sweet moment with Elena to their conversation later. Yeah. Where he tries to compel her. I hate that scene. I do, too. It's great. It makes sense. I know. But it also is annoying. He got lucky, though. Like, he did. Honestly, like, she was lucky, Stefan was lucky, Damon was lucky. Everyone was lucky that she was wearing the necklace. Everyone really lucked out, yeah. Because, really, this time watching it, I was genuinely thinking, like, what would have happened if she wasn't wearing that necklace? And he compelled her. It would have been so bad. And she just became this little tug-of-war piece between Stefan and Damon, just to make Stefan mad. She would have gotten killed. Like, she just would have gotten killed in the middle of that. Because Damon wouldn't have ever bothered to build the emotional connection with her, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either.
And the story just would have been completely different. So, of course, the necklace.
The necklace.
That's why the scene doesn't work. It does work in that Damon can't compel her.
Yeah.
Because she has the necklace, finally. The most iconic
Yes.
piece of jewelry in Vampire
in
Diaries.
the whole show, yeah.
We have it hanging behind us if you're
Yes.
watching the video version of this, because it's just such...
It's iconic.
It's such a memorable
Also,
piece of
I really
Vampire
do
Diaries.
think it's beautiful. Like, I really
It
do
is a
like
pretty
it.
necklace. I know, like, if I were 17 and my boyfriend was like, wear this for me, I'd be like,
Yeah, okay.
sure.
Yeah, you're right.
Which I feel like most girls do that. Like, if your boyfriend gives you something at that age, you'll wear it.
It's beautiful.
But most girls are getting freaking K jewelry, heart
Hearts.
necklaces.
Yes! But this...
Elena gets an antique necklace. She doesn't even know. It's like 1,000 years old.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But it's a cool necklace. And of course, it has the benefit of she cannot be compelled now, which is great.
Yeah, that is a game changer for Elena, and such a smart move by Stefan, like you already said. And
which he could have done
payoff.
it sooner, because Damon does get into her head before that.
Oh, yes.
Because she doesn't have a necklace yet. He like gets into her dreams, and she has like a dream where she's making out with Stefan, and then he turns into Damon.
Yeah.
And freaks her out.
And then the crow is right outside the
the
window, like on
crow.
her windowsill.
The dang crow will not go away. It's always just got to be sitting right there.
I really wish they didn't drop the crow, I'll be honest. I kind of like it.
I like this version of the crow.
Yeah.
Where it's sort of just like a hint. It's like a...
Yes. Yeah.
It's like a symbol for Damon.
Yes.
Whereas in the first one, it was like the crow is Damon.
He's being compelled.
Yeah.
Which isn't what I meant. No, but that's beside the point.
Yes.
But yeah. I do, I like that dream. Also, I like that before you see the crow, it's like, oh, she really is dreaming about him. But then it's like, no, Damon's in her mind.
Yeah. Which I don't know if I really understood that. I guess I probably did, like, first watch.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, I first watched it when I was, like, 12,
like,
13.
Yeah, younger, yeah.
So, I don't know if the critical thinking skills were there. But I'm sure the crow is what gives it away. But before that, you're like, did she just have a dream about Damon?
Yeah.
Like,
Ooh,
what is this?
Yeah. And it's believable because they have that amazing moment, and they haven't had the compelled moment yet.
Yeah. And then even in that compulsion moment where, of course, it doesn't work because she has the necklace on, I really like the way that scene goes down, just in that he is trying to compel her, but, like, before that, he isn't necessarily. And she, like, kind of calls him out for it.
Yes.
Like, for being, like, why are you putting me in the middle of this? Like, this is not... Well, what does he say? He's like, oh, I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable. Like,
yes, when he says the thing about Caroline being too much for him,
Caroline's too much for him. She talks too much.
Yeah.
And Elena... Go ahead.
Yeah, she says one of my favorite lines. She's like, Caroline does have some really annoying traits, but she's still my friend.
Yeah. That means something to me.
And that means something to me.
Yeah, so good. And then Damon does say, I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable. And she says, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Which, good
Damon.
for her.
Yes, I was thinking about this. Like, unrelated to the necklace, Elena is very intuitive and is almost, like, impervious against being gaslit.
Yeah.
She, like, is immediately suspicious when Stefan gets cut.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she doesn't even tell herself, like, oh, I just saw it. Like, she's immediately suspicious. She calls Damon out. She knows he's trying to manipulate her. Like, she's very intuitive. She's very, like...
She is. Yeah.
And self-assured, I think.
Stefan did not get lucky with the whole, let me just date a human girl and not tell her anything. Because Elena's, like, the...
She's
1%,
intuitive.
10%, whatever it might be, who will just be like, nope, I'm not dropping this lead.
Yeah.
Which I think they actually do say about her in episode 4 or 5. We'll have to keep an eye out for it, but I'm pretty sure somebody says that about Elena at some point, that, like, actually I think it's Matt. I'm pretty sure Matt at some point says that, like, if Elena senses there's something to be figured out, she will figure it out.
Yeah. I think he does say that at some point. Yeah.
So we'll have to keep an eye out for that moment, because it's pretty good.
Speaking of Matt, I did want to call out Matt in this episode because this is also a very good Matt. This is just a good episode for everyone all around.
It is.
But it's a really good episode for Matt. Yeah, not Caroline. She was a while ago. But it's a really good episode for...
Sorry.
Yeah, no. Okay, I take it back. But it is a good episode for Matt because he calls out Tyler at some point, and he has his, like, moments with Stefan where he's very apologetic for basically the role he played in Tyler bullying him.
Yes.
And going along with it. And I think those are really solid Matt moments. He does have a little slip up where he calls Elena his girlfriend, and it's
so awkward.
It makes me like it a little bit less. But yeah, Matt has some good moments where he's calling out Tyler. He calls out Vicky too. He's like, what are you doing with Jeremy and Tyler? Like, basically leading them both on. He just has some really good moments.
I do really enjoy Matt in this episode, surprisingly. I love the scene when he talks to Stefan and he just...
me too.
He tries to make good with him. You know, he's like, there's no beef between us. Like, we're good here.
Yeah.
It shows that he's genuinely a good person.
Yes. And I think that's a really important thing to, like, set the tone for early on. Because Matt is truly, like, the symbol of humanity and being human in the show. So... just showing someone who's a genuinely good human living person, I think is important.
It is important. And then, of course, poor Matt has to be the person to find Mr. Tanner's body.
No, after we already see him being a great person, I was thinking that when we watched it, I'm like, he gets such a good episode, and then he has to be immediately traumatized, much like Bonnie, of finding your history teacher and football coach dead. How terrible would that be? Traumatizing. Matt is having trauma after trauma after trauma in this show.
Literally. Which Stefan and Damon got lucky that it was Mr. Tanner that walked out. What if it was Matt that walked out? Like, Damon just killed him.
That would have been... The whole town would have been an uproar. Like, it's... Because also he's younger, too. He's a student. But
that's true.
Yeah, thank God it was Mr. Tanner,
And then when Elena found out, she never would have, like, forgiven Damon.
No, never.
Whereas Tanner was like...
Okay,
yeah, he was set up to be the worst. Everyone can forgive you for that. That's valid.
Yeah, I don't know if they exactly knew what they were doing there, but they never pulled punches with Mr. Tanner. They were like, he's gonna be a dick, and no one's gonna like him.
My guess
and that's
is
fine.
They knew that they needed Damon to kill a significant character,
right?
So that they could say like, this is one of those shows where anybody could die,
right?
But they didn't want him to actually kill anybody that's likable or that we really have any attachment to, because like. You know, we're still supposed to like Damon to some extent. Yes. We're supposed to be starting to understand him a little bit. Mm-hmm. So, you know, like that whole scene in the kitchen with Elena, we're supposed to be humanizing him now. So to have him have killed like Matt or Tyler or anybody else would have like, it would have been really hard to get, especially Tyler, everything he's doing to Caroline.
Fun, okay,
maybe Tyler.
No. It would have been bad. He's a student.
Tanner was the perfect one to just be like,
he was
kill him off.
Whatever. He was definitely written in to be killed right off, for sure.
Yeah, it's just to show Damon serious, but also like, we don't need to be too worried about it.
Yeah.
Just yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, I love that scene, Stefan and Damon fighting. So many good things. I'll bring one up a little bit later. But one of them is, I love that Stefan's just always saying brother. They always call each other brother.
Yeah.
I feel like people don't do that in conversation.
No, not really. But I like it. Poor Bonnie. Seeing all of those numbers. Also, it occurred to me, again, a thing you get on rewatch. She was writing those numbers in history class. Like,
you never realized that?
No.
Girl.
My critical thought's not always there.
Oh my god.
Because, well, also she does say at one point that she's been seeing them all day.
Yeah.
So I feel like that, I just kind of helped me gloss over it, but I was like, she was writing them in history class. Duh.
Yeah, they bring it up several times. Mm-hmm. So you're probably not the only one that missed it, but probably other people missed like the one where she mentions that she's been seeing them all day or whatever. Yeah. They drop it a few times to make sure like you know that Bonnie knows those numbers. Yeah. And then at the end, like it's like a really perfect way to display that because it's subtle. You know, it's like the building number, the driver's license number, the parking spot number, but it's like undeniably there.
Yeah.
So it's like this really nice little, like, Bonnie's shocked. Like, her reaction is so great. Kat Graham is a great actress.
She is. She really is.
Yeah, she shows the trauma in that moment because it really is like, whoa. Like, that is, like, freaky. This is the confirmation I needed that I'm a witch.
Yes, exactly. It really solidifies it. It's like, okay, she's the witch in this world. Like,
it definitely does.
Yeah. And her powers are growing stronger, I think.
And they definitely do.
They definitely do. And I think that shows that. Like, it's getting more serious and more concrete.
Definitely.
It's not just, oh, I know what commercial's next.
Yeah. Florida's going to break off and become hotel islands.
Yeah, exactly. Which may be.
Yeah.
You never know.
Still could be true.
Could.
So
I'm keeping that one in my back pocket.
We'll wait on that one. Yeah.
But
and then from there we go into like their last sort of little scene with the music, the voiceovers. Vicky and Jeremy have a little moment. And then, of course, Damon and Elena have a little moment. More so Damon, Elena's just there.
Yeah, Elena's asleep. That's okay. But he's,
Yeah.
like, stroking her hair and her face. And it's just, the song playing is perfect. Like, the Stefan voiceovers, like, he's such a monster. Like,
Oh my God,
is there
it's
any
so
human
perfect.
in him? And he's just stroking her face so gently.
The curation of that moment is
Perfect.
brilliant.
10 out of 10.
It's brilliant. The gentleness of
Yes.
Temptation by Moby playing in the background, and the voiceover from Stefan saying he's a monster, there's no humanity left in him.
Yes.
While he's looking down at her so lovingly and just the most gentle, like
Yes.
stroking her face. It really...
It's perfect.
It's why this episode is so good, is that it does do all of this stuff all episode to be like, Damon's evil, Damon's evil, Damon's evil. But then you're also like, but he's
not.
okay, but he's okay.
Not. Yeah.
And then you get that last moment where you're like, oh, Stefan's just like completely misunderstood him.
Right. Yeah. He
It's-
just doesn't get him.
No,
In
at
a way
all.
that Elena does.
In a way that Elena does. And I think that moment's interesting because in that moment, my assumption is that he's looking at her more because she looks like Catherine than because it's Elena.
See, I think, and you and I have talked about this before, it's like, when does Damon really fall in love with Elena?
Yeah.
I don't think he's fallen in love with her yet, obviously, because he's still on the Catherine pursuit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that, I do think this is an Elena moment, not a Catherine
Really?
moment. Because they have that moment in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I also think Damon really respects her for standing up to him.
Yes.
Even though she was, like, just not being compelled, like, she was, you know, it's partly attributed to the necklace.
Mm-hmm.
Though that was Elena's genuine reaction that she was able to have because of the necklace. And I think he likes that she stood up to him.
I think so too. I was debating it myself
Yeah.
because I do agree with you that I think this episode, he's not in love with her because he's definitely still fully in love with Catherine,
of course.
but it has sparked his interest.
Yes, he's drawn to her.
He's drawn to her. He's interested in her.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think, like, maybe he went there to look at her because she looks like Catherine.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I do think that the tenderness of that moment is also in respect to it being Elena.
Yes. Yes.
There's such, like, an interesting duality there that, like, we'll never really be able to understand.
Yeah.
Add it to our list if we could ever somehow get dream guest Ian Summerhall, the
Yes.
friend of the pod.
What was he thinking?
I want to know acting-wise.
Yes.
Was he channeling
Was he
the
thinking
lost love of
Elena?
Catherine?
Yeah.
The new tender appreciation for Elena?
Yes.
I would love to know what he was imagining
Yeah.
that moment was.
Yeah.
Because
I would love to know.
I really do think it could go either way, and I do think it's kind of both, in a way.
Yeah. I think it's a little of both. I think it's not possible for him to not see Catherine, I don't think, but I think I choose to believe, at least,
Yeah.
it's an Elena moment. It's because
I do want it to be an Elena
it's because she
moment.
challenged him. It's because they connected. It's all of the things. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, I just think I'm choosing to believe it's Elena and Damon.
Me too. I'll take
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
That's the verdict.
Yeah. But I think that covers everything. We talked about our in memoriam, which is just the one death. Mr. Tanner, may he rest in peace.
May he rest in pieces at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, that's true. He was a piece of shit. May he rest in piece of shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's the only death killed by Damon.
Yeah.
And that,
A
that
revenge
covers-
feeding. Love to see it.
Yeah. Really proving a point to Stefan that I don't even know.
Damon's 5th death. 3 episodes, 5 kills.
Yeah, all Damon.
Great track record, Damon.
Love him. Meanwhile,
going
I'm
really
like,
well.
he's so redeemable. He's so human. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
He's killed
Because
so many people.
here we are, our next segment.
Yeah.
Out of pocket moments,
Oh
where we
my
say, what
gosh.
is the most out of pocket moment? You know, Damon isn't even on the list for me. It's all Caroline.
It's all Caroline.
Maybe
well,
Tyler.
I was just about to say, I was thinking my moment would be when Tyler throws the football at the back of
That's pretty
Stefan's
out of
head,
pocket.
trying to be like, we'll show her what she's
Yeah.
missing out on.
The only reason that doesn't win is because he doesn't get away with it. If it had
That's
actually
true.
hit him, it would have been the winner. It would
That's
be like,
true.
why did you do that?
I'm willing to concede on that point.
So my winner, I think, would be the, like, she's in a blah phase. From Caroline.
yeah. I think that
That's
was
pretty
my other
awful.
option.
Because she doesn't just say, like, she's in a blah phase. She says she's in a blah phase because her parents died.
Yeah. Yeah.
At a dinner party with all these people.
Yeah, all her new boyfriend. I'd be so
Yeah.
pissed if my friend said that to my new boyfriend.
Yeah. It's so weird.
It's a bad Caroline moment.
To me, that's the out-of-pocket
It's
moment.
pretty out of pocket.
So,
I'm willing to accept defeat on this one and choose
Okay.
that one. Because I was also thinking
Caroline Forbes wins our out-of-pocket season 1,
Yes.
episode 3, Friday
Yes.
Night Fights.
She does.
Great job,
win.
Caroline.
Yes. Related to that, I think we're going to add in a new segment, Best Quotes.
Yes.
I don't know. There were a ton of quotes that stood out to me other than, like, the really... the really out-of-pocket things Caroline says.
There were a lot of good ones.
The only other one that I think, now that we've talked about it, I really like is Elena's line, "I'm not just a gloomy graveyard girl." I like that for her.
That was on my list. I have 3 that I have always really remembered and really liked from this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Even before we watched it, I was like, I know what my quotes are.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was on the list because I think that's one of Elena's best quotes.
Yeah.
The other one that I particularly remember being obsessed with when this episode came out was Damon when he shows up at the football game and says to Stefan, "It's also rah rah, go team, yeah."
Oh, yes.
I've always loved that quote.
That's a really good one.
It's so good. It's just so, like, Stefan's acting so serious and Damon's just, like, goofing
Yeah.
off as usual. The other one, which is also another Damon just goofing off one, is he goes to Stefan's room, like, before the game, and he says, "BTW, that means by the way."
I did also think
So
about the
good.
by the way one.
And the way he does it, he's like holding like a feather randomly. I don't know if it's like a quill or what it is, but he has a feather and he's like drawing it out as he's saying it. The delivery
really
is
good.
so funny.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd be willing to go with one of the 2 Damon ones.
They're so good. My personal vote would go, "It's also rah rah, go team, yeah."
I
love
that
one.
I really like that. Yeah.
It's just a good quote.
Let's say that one. I'm good with that.
Best quote of the episode.
Best quote. Rah rah.
Rah rah, go team, yeah.
Yeah.
Damon's really sweeping the categories because I have a feeling our next category, song of the episode.
Yeah. It's obvious.
It's an obvious choice. Let's talk
obvious.
about some other ones first.
Okay, good. Because I do want to give honorable mention to Starstruck by 303.
So good.
Playing during the cheerleading practice. This could be a period piece in that moment. It's so 2009 high school sports team practicing to that song. It's perfect.
If you were on a high school cheerleading squad in 2009, please confirm or deny whether you did a routine.
We know
to
you
Starstruck,
did. We know you
because
did.
It's so good.
It's really good.
It's exactly the 2009 vibe.
Yes.
It's so good.
Great song.
Not as much a 2009 vibe, but a song that I really liked was the football. Like pretty much right after that one, it goes to Stefan practicing football, and it plays "Strange Times" by the Black Keys.
Oh,
which is
yeah,
just a
that
good
one's
song,
good too.
And it's really cool the way it plays when Stefan's like walking off the field and the guys are there, and it's just like a nice. I really like the use of that one.
Yeah, those are both good.
Those are good honorable mentions.
Yeah, they have to be honorable mentions for me though.
Yeah. Yeah, they have to be. The clear winner. This is like one of the top 10, honestly for me it might be top 3 best song usages in Vampire Diaries. I think it's so perfectly placed in the scene. Yeah. It's such a good song. Like this song has ended up on my Spotify Wrapped for years.
It's perfect.
Because of this scene. I listen to this song all the time. Like it's beautiful. The scene is beautiful.
Yes.
It has to be. Temptation
by Moby.
Yeah.
Yes!
It's the exact song.
It's so good. I mean, we talked about it a lot already, but yeah, the gentleness of the moment, like...
Yeah.
Oh, it's just such a beautiful... Also, even the lyrics.
Yeah.
Like,
it works so perfectly for Damon to Elena in this moment, and it just sets the exact energy that you needed after this episode. It's what perfectly... wraps an amazing episode in like a pretty bow on the top. It's so good.
Exactly. Yeah. I also like just a small thing, but I also really like it starts playing during the Jeremy and Vicky moment where Vicky goes, "It wasn't just about the drugs," because they had an earlier conversation where Jeremy was like, you know, "Is our relationship just about the drugs?" Yeah. I like that moment too. Like they get a really nice, rewarding ending.
They do. Yeah, and then it plays into the Stefan and Elena talking, and it just carries you through the whole end. It's really good. Yeah. It works really well.
It works for all of those plots.
Best song.
It's so good. It's perfect. I'm going to listen to it like 10 times tomorrow.
We live together in the same apartment, and I have a feeling that it will be heard throughout the apartment for the rest of the week. Yes, Thank you for watching our review of Season 1, Episode 3 of The Vampire Diaries.
Yes. I think I will take the socials. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Nope, not Twitter. TikTok. at the Rippah Diaries podcast. And you can, if you're not watching on YouTube, listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I'm struggling now. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can watch on YouTube at the Rippah Diaries.
Yeah, I think that
I
about
think that's everyone.
sums it
Yeah.
up. So go find us on all of those things. Come back for the next one. It will be season 1, episode 4.
Yes.
Family Ties, I believe, is the name of the next one.
Founders Day party.
Yes, the Founders Day party. There's always a Founders Day party.
There's always a party.
Yeah, so looking forward to that one. Thanks
Yes.
again for watching, and we'll
Thank
see
you.
you next time.
Yep.
Bye.